Jonathan Smith and his family arrived in East Lansing yesterday, one day after he was named the new head coach at Michigan State. Smith taking over a program that's been through a lot. Mel Tucker dismissed in September, finished off a 4-8 season on Friday, and now Smith comes in to restore it to its recent heights. He joins us now for our big interview. Coach, really good to have you with us. Congratulations. What appealed to you the most about this job?
Well, there was a lot to like. Put some thought into it as the process went on. I just felt the fit was great in regards to what I value, in regards to this community, this fan base, a program of substance, being a program we're working to develop young men on and off the field. Listening to Alan and his vision for the place was right in line on how I like to do things. And so there's a lot there, this passionate fan base. I think you can win at a high level. There's some serious work to do here, and I'm excited about diving into it.
Well, you were coaching at your alma mater, and that, of course, is a place that means a whole lot to you in Oregon State, going through a lot, conference realignment going on, and they don't really have a place right now. How tough was it to leave Oregon State behind?
Yeah, that place means a ton, no question. These things aren't always easy. I go back to the timing and the fit. I wasn't going to just abandon a place. I wanted to be going to a place, and so I go back to the conversations, learning more and more about Michigan State. This felt like the right timing, the right fit for me.
You took over, I should say, Oregon State in a rough spot. I mean, they were coming off a one-win season. You built it up and got it to the point here where these last few years you've been really competitive. What can you apply from what you did in Corvallis to Michigan State? I realize it's a different situation. Certainly, Michigan State has had higher level success more recently than Oregon State had. But still, what parts of that and having a rebuild there can you apply to Michigan State?
Yeah, there's some similarities, and I'll kind of say it to you the same. I had a team meeting, first one this morning. Awesome to get around those guys and told my story of the coaching career and things and going to different places, not just as the head coach, but also when I was offensive coordinator. And it starts with building some trust. That's not easy to do when it's a brand new setup. Those players don't know me very well at all, vice versa. I didn't get the opportunity to sit in their homes through the recruiting process, get to know them or those close to them and family and things. And so you got to start with building some trust. That takes a little bit, but we're going to dive into that in regards to connection, knowing stories. And that's where we've kind of started. And that was similar when we started at Oregon State, and it worked well.
I know when you got the Oregon State job, Chris Peterson, as one of your mentors, told you needed to be comfortable being uncomfortable. How does that apply to the Michigan State job?
Yeah, I think it needs a role of leadership, not just a head football coach. Like when you're on a stage and you're leading a large group, there's some times where it's going to be uncomfortable. And he was really wise with that. I do think the uncomfortableness is, that part leads me to know you got to surround yourself with some great people, some great support, which we've been able to do over the last 6 years. That's 100% what we plan to do here. The support here at Michigan State, not just the maybe 10 assistant coaches throughout the athletic department. This community going to need everyone's support and get aligned behind, again, a program that this place takes great pride in. And I feel almost honored to be the head football coach.
Now, Coach, I read a lot of stuff that some of your mentors have talked about, your high school coaches, even guys you played with, who all said you could tell this guy had something, like he had these leadership qualities that you could foresee going into the future would make him a great coach. What are some of those qualities that you think have led you to be successful in this business?
Yeah, well, I've had some great mentors that I could look up to, ask advice, to see their example, like you mentioned. And, Chris Peterson for a while. My first coach in college, my first position coach was Paul Chryst. And he exposed me to doing it away offensively in the game, but he was just himself. And he gave me that same advice 6 years ago when I was coming to head coach for the first time, of being myself and authentic to it. And that's what I've tried to be. Nothing outside of who I am, and being honest, upfront, and it's an approach I take.
Oregon State, of course, has been a developmental program historically. You are maybe one of the great examples of that, a walk-on quarterback who ended up being one of the great players in the history of the program and led them to arguably their greatest heights. Michigan State's had a lot of successes, I'm sure you know, as a developmental program. Mark D'Antonio, that was kind of his equation, was taking 2- and 3-star guys and turning them into a great team and ultimately make it to the college football playoff. We understand now that the world's a little different. You've got the portal too, and there is a chance to go out and build your roster that way. What do you see as the balancing act at Michigan State?
Yeah, there's no question we want to start with development and development in a program and the ability to develop year after year, especially for a younger player to be in the program. I want him leaving way better as a player, person, student, the whole thing. So we want to be about a development. I want to develop the highest star rated player as well. With 2, 3, 4, 5-star, they come to the place and they develop and improve. The roster, yes, there's different avenues to build a roster. We will use every avenue, but we want to start with a high school player, come in here and develop and get better. That'll be the hope that the core of the roster will be.
What's your message to this group, Coach? I mean, they've been through a lot. You were their third head coach in less than 3 months. You've got to sell a lot of these guys on staying. What are you going to say to them, or what have you already said to them?
Yeah, I talked to him, and it just played out like we played the University of Washington last year, so I was able to see him on tape a little bit. And then as this process goes, I came across a couple of games that it did. Used examples of, I looked at the Rutgers game in the miserable weather, and I told them, yeah, that thing didn't end up the way they wanted, but all they've been through, they are competing and battling. They had a nice come from behind tight game against Indiana, found a way to win. I thought there was a lot of character in the room with all the uncertainty, unsettling that they'd been through. For them to continue to battle and compete, I thought there's some real character and talent in the room. I'm excited to work with them.
You are in an interesting spot in that you are coming from the Pac-12, and as everyone, I assume, watching this show well knows, we've got 4 teams coming from the Pac-12 to join the Big Ten next year. All of your background as a coach and as a player, and frankly in high school as well, growing up in California, is on the West Coast. In what ways can that be an advantage for you, kind of understanding that group of teams that maybe some teams in the Big Ten don't know that well yet?
Yeah, there's no question that I got familiarity and background with those 4 teams, the West Coast. I will say it this way: I'm excited to get over here in the state of Michigan, learn and grow. I go back to the fit, and even now being here 24 hours, the people fit a lot of what I want to be about: low ego, high output, blue collar, working at it, and I feel confident in that. Those 4 teams joining the league, what I felt, again, was so intriguing for me on this opportunity was this conference is the best in the country. You talk about those 4 additions across the board, and I wanted to be able to have a chance to compete at the highest level.
Last question for you. As you know, been a rough year for Michigan State. They lost to the top 3 teams in the East by combined 129-3 score. It's not what Michigan State fans expect from their program. What is your message to the fan base about getting this back to the spot they expected to be in?
Yeah, I mean, you hired a guy that is really excited and committed to doing this thing. I very confident, compete at the highest level. Michigan State has done it. It's been proven. It's historical on that end. No question this league is competitive. Those teams are, currently, they were, really good this year. Just know that I'm completely committed, excited about the work that it's going to take, going to surround this building with some great people, men, players of character, but players with some talent, and we're going to go to work.
Jonathan Smith, we will not keep you from doing that. Get to work. We look forward to working with you here, and welcome to the Big Ten. Thanks a lot for taking some time out to talk to us.
Yeah, appreciate it.